Hey everyone, welcome to Tim's Butt here on the Funky Panther. Welcome to the first 30, everybody. We have got our friend Dustin Massey here. What's up, Dustin?
Why couldn't I couldn't put a sweet potato fry in my mouth and see myself in the screen at the same time. I was like going towards my nose.
Can't do it.
Motor skills just went away.
Hey everyone. So welcome to the first 30. This is going to be a little bit different because we're eating. We're eating our din-din here on the first 30. On the last episode, we had Michael, who was talking about, the MQ Kitchen and how he said the steak sandwich was the best. And so
it's legitimately delicious.
They reached out to us and were like, hey, do y'all want to see if it's the best or not? And we're like, yeah, we'll check it out. And so they provided us with so much food. It's a ridiculous amount of food. So
I'm going to tell you, it's straight up the best steak sandwich I've had.
This steak sandwich is basically bread, arugula, and an entire steak on top of it. Like, it looks amazing. I haven't had any yet, though. How is it?
I walked in and it smelled amazing. I was
Dude,
like, what is happening?
It legitimately is incredible. The chimichurri on there is phenomenal.
I'm going to go just steak first.
Dude, it's
oh, damn.
The onions, everything on it's good.
Tender?
Yeah.
Whatever the sauce is in there, it's great too.
Chimichurri?
Yeah, I think it's chimichurri.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's why I'm pretty sure it is.
Man,
I'm not a culinary expert, but I know when things taste good, and this tastes great.
Michael, you're not wrong. In MQ Kitchens, thank you so much. This is damn good. They gave us, they messaged us and they're like, have the steak sandwiches. We're like, okay, definitely. And then they were like, do you want fries or tots or sweet potato fries? And I sent the GIF of like, give me some of your tots. You know what I mean? And instead, they just gave us all three. And great. Cookies. So we've got so much food. Shout out to you all. I learned a lot about ghost kitchens while I was there for 5 minutes. Did you know? We've talked about them
So
briefly.
I know what a ghost kitchen is, kind of.
Right.
It's just a building where ghosts live and they cook.
That is correct.
Okay.
Is that your understanding?
Cheap labor?
Because they're dead, right?
They're forever damned to cook.
Right. So there's a place right over here kind of by Defender Outdoors, right off the Trinity, over by La Pulga and everything, like kind of back behind there.
Yeah.
And it's like you walk in and you scan your phone and a locker opens and your food's there. Like you just order it online and you don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to do anything. Just scan your phone, grab your food, and
It's
go.
like an Amazon locker situation.
Yeah. But so these ghost kitchens
weird,
started
man.
back when COVID was a thing, and Uber started them. And so we've got our own Fort Worth one here right now. And there's 8 kitchens within this place, 8 kitchens in this one location. And she was telling me that she was one of the owners, and she told me that they started MQ Kitchens as heifer, hog, and hen because they like farm raised meat, like all grass fed and everything like that. And they knew they had really good meat, and they're like, well, we need to feed it to people. We need to give it to people. And so they started the restaurant. And so that's why.
I wonder if I can still buy directly like meat from them.
You can. It's like heifer, H-E-I or H-I-E, whatever, however you spell heifer, heiferhoghen.com. And it's like, I'm pretty sure I've seen ads for this before. It's like one of those like meat services that you like, I think you could probably subscribe to and just buy boxes of meat. But if it's this damn good, like, yeah, I get it.
I've been thinking about getting a group together and like going in and buying either like a whole pig, a whole cow or half a cow or something like that.
I didn't have enough time to dig into like what all they have available, but if it's anything like this steak, it's fucking awesome.
If I just want to order this again, what do? I just go to the website?
There's
like an app?
Kitchens, and then you can order. Or you can order from Uber Eats,
right.
And then you just scan your phone, open a locker, and then take it home.
I may just order this again sometime soon.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's good.
I think my sweet wife would love to have this.
Well, I want to eat it, but we're also on air, and so like I was telling you guys, like whenever I go to the office,
awesome. Sweet potato fries are awesome.
Yeah, they're like cinnamon sugar or something.
Which I'm not typically like I'm more of a savory sweet potato.
Yeah.
This is kind of a sweet one.
They're so good.
It's good.
I haven't had the fries or the tots yet. How are those? Have you tried?
I haven't
Great.
tried those yet because I
There's
just have
cookies here?
Yeah, they're like macadamia chocolate.
I could come on once
coconut.
a week if we're doing this.
Yeah, right.
I think we're gonna have to deliver Javier's sandwich. He's gonna have to eat this.
He's gonna have to try this out. Yeah, I'll drop it off on the way home. So Javier's not with us tonight, unfortunately, but we have replaced him with someone with longer hair. So everything's better when it's longer, from what I hear, and so that's why we got Dustin to fill in his space. No,
allegedly.
Allegedly. Love you, Javier. I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope you're watching. We'll get you this food here in a little bit.
Maybe he'll chime in.
Miss you, Javier. We need to all get together and watch a Mavs playoff game.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, we do.
Jesus, the next 2 weeks are going to be nuts.
And it's not on the same night as the Stars.
I know, that was my
it's
favorite
like
part.
Wednesday starts and it's a gauntlet for like 2 weeks. Can't wait.
And it's not super late or anything.
7:30, I think.
Yeah, 7
Yeah,
or
not
7:30
bad,
every
not bad.
night. Not like these 10 o'clock games or whatever.
Dude, did y'all stay up for the double OT Stars game?
So we were in New Orleans for his girlfriend's birthday this past week.
Gotcha.
And so Javier and I, everyone else passed out. Javier and I stayed up. He made it through first overtime. It was like 12:30 at that point, and I'm like, he's like, I'm too exhausted. We've been drinking all day. I'm going to bed. I stayed up because I was already that far in.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And then that first goal that was a goal that didn't, whatever.
Ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. I mean, he was pushed into being pushed. It was ridiculous, but whatever. And then they ended up winning it. I was like, thank God. I cheered a little bit quietly because everyone was asleep, and I went to sleep. It was fun.
Yeah, I was laying in bed, so I've like been putting on headphones like
I
this.
think we
wanna
should
pull that
switch
mic
his mic. It's Javier's stand. He has
Do I just need to get closer?
no. It's gonna keep falling.
Really? It always does that?
Yeah.
I thought Javier just didn't know how to work it.
No, it's not that. No matter how hard you crank it,
get right here.
I mean, you get right there, and it sounds really nice.
I'm going to unplug it.
Okay, hang on. Let me cut that down. This is those that catch us on the first 30 get to see some of the technical stuff that we have to go through. Ooh.
Okay, now.
That can go down some. Just sit on the floor. Throw it through the window.
It's a nice looking mic.
Does that work?
It is. These mics aren't that expensive for how good they look. Truly, they're great mics, about $100 a piece.
I need a new mic. I might have to
Not
get one
bad.
of these Sures.
I'm sure you'll love it.
Yeah.
Nothing. He just ignores the fact that it was a hell of a joke.
Maybe I thought maybe you're getting a sponsorship out of that. I don't know.
No,
Not at all.
no. I mean, unless
We'd surely love to.
we would.
You can
Surely.
do that all day.
If Sure wants to sponsor us,
Let's send
we
some
surely
emails.
would take it.
Let's send some emails.
Yeah.
So thanks for everybody for hopping on already for the first 30. Cinnamon sugar sweet potato fries sound amazing. They really are gameplay. They're fantastic.
I want to apologize for us being gone for 2 weeks.
We have been gone for 2 weeks, but we had a lot of stuff going on.
We did.
So what have you been up to the past 2 weeks?
For the first week, nothing really.
Oh, great.
The second week was fun and enjoyable because we went to New Orleans. So Jesse and I flew in on Tuesday of last week, and she didn't know where we were going, although my mom kind of gave it away.
Oh.
But my mom's got
I
some.
feel like you pretty much gave it away
No.
because you're a really bad
No.
secret keeper.
I kept it hush hush until my mom said something, and then I was like in panic mode, and I was trying to figure out like how do I recover from this.
Yeah.
And so we get to the airport. I'm like, we are going to New Orleans. Blah blah. She's like, I knew it. But what she didn't know is that Javier and Tammy were going to be waiting there for us.
Yeah.
And so we get into the Airbnb, and boom, there they are. And what she didn't know was you and Sarah were going to show up.
The night of.
But then I ended up telling her because like things didn't work out. She was
Right.
like, "Why is there 6 spots here at the table that we're going to eat at?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God,
I know.
we've been gone for 2 weeks. And
I don't
it's
know
difficult.
what I'm doing. Yeah.
But we did everything. We saw everything. We walked around Bourbon multiple times. Drank a lot. Ran into. All right. I want to paint a picture real quick, and I want to see what your thought is on
Let's
this.
hear it.
So we're 500 miles away, roughly, right? In another state, and we go to a speakeasy that requires all these steps to get into. We had to go track down the card, and then go back to this other bar and tell them a vampire sent us, and then give them the card, and then we go upstairs. And Javier immediately sees a guy in a Texas Ranger shirt.
This
And
had to
so-
be early into drinking.
Yeah,
It was like 5 o'clock,
5
right
o'clock.
at 5
Okay.
o'clock.
Yeah.
So, yes.
yeah. I mean, we've been drinking earlier that day, but
Since noon.
Yeah, since noon.
Midnight, you're not finding a
No,
way
no,
to
no.
that speakeasy.
No.
So we go through all this, right? And we walk in. Javier immediately starts talking to this guy. He's like, "Hey, you from Texas? I see your shirt on." He's like, "Yeah, we're from Fort Worth." He's like, "Oh, I'm from Fort Worth too." And I'm like, at the bar with Chad at this point, and I'm trying to figure out who is Javier talking to. And I turn and I see a guy standing there with this group, and I immediately recognize him. And it's a guy that I used to work with, and I've known him for like 10 years. And that we were randomly in a bar 500 miles away at the exact same time. He got there literally 5 minutes before we walked up the steps. and we just happened to run into it. How is that a thing? That doesn't make any sense.
Was there anything
pretty
going
wild.
on in New Orleans?
No, they were there just
Like an off week.
Yeah.
Like a great time to go to New Orleans.
They were
really.
just there on a it was Friday, and they decided they wanted to go. Yeah, there's
Wow.
nothing going on in New Orleans though.
So did y'all hang out all night?
No,
Just like a little in passing? Like,
we hung out at Potions at that bar for a little bit, and then we were gonna meet up later, and then it started pouring.
Yeah. Yeah, the weather was not great. Like when they got there, it was pretty good. The whole reason we didn't make dinner is last Thursday night, it was just storming here real bad. It didn't seem that bad, but as we're driving to the airport, like I couldn't see shit. Like it was like just pouring. And our flight got delayed like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So we just stayed at the Cowboy Bar there at Love Field and just drank. What else are you going to do when you're stuck in an airport?
I feel like I saw that on your story or something.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
I saw a TikTok today that was like people asking, I don't understand why people go to the bar in the airport and get drunk. And this dude like stitches it. And he's like, let me just tell you, the airport's the best place to do that because you can get completely hammered, and then you can walk around a place that's like a mall, and nobody questions you. And then you get on your flight, as long as you're okay within reason. You get on your flight and you completely disassociate, and then you end up where you end up at.
I'll be honest. I don't love drinking in an airport. I don't love drinking on a plane. What do you think? Are you?
I don't much anymore. When we flew to Europe, I did.
Yeah.
And the whole way back, actually. But yeah, I usually don't drink on the plane now. When I was living in Colorado and I'd come back and forth that time, it was just like I knew I was doing it a lot.
Yeah.
And I just like knew where I was going, where I was having my 2 beers, and then I'd usually have a couple drinks on the plane.
At that point, it was just like muscle memory.
Or like mom's picking you up at the airport and you're already like you're a little hungover and it's
Right.
like afternoon because you were drinking at 11 at the airport. It's like I need to just like stop that.
Christy says it's a simulation. That's how. The world is a simulation.
So yeah, that was the craziest flight. It's funny because Sarish, my girlfriend, and I were talking about a few months ago. We were on a flight. She's like, "What's the most choppy like flight that you've ever had?" And I could think of one. She could think of one. And then like halfway through this flight, we just looked at each other and were like, "This is the flight. This is that flight." Because it was just so like up and down, crazy sideways. I looked out the window and I just saw lightning like out the window. What the shit? It was bonkers. It was crazy.
We all travel a ton too, so like
This one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
You
But
know,
I knew we'd make it.
The more you travel, the higher risk of plane crash you have.
Right. That could be said with literally anything.
I know, so you're just increasing those odds, right?
The more fries you have, the more,
The more clogged my arteries are going to get.
or the percentage that you're going to choke to death is going to just skyrocket. Yeah.
man. When we were flying home from Europe, I
Yeah.
think I like DM'd you. I was like, "Hey, dude, we're going to Europe. Like, give me some pointers."
Yeah.
So we went to Italy, Switzerland, and Germany. We went for Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
It was
so
amazing.
legit. Yeah.
So to leave, we had to fly out of Germany to Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
That was our connecting flight. We were like on the flight forever, like on the runway, still connected to the terminal. And like 6 hours we sat there, and they finally
What?
canceled it. There was something wrong with like the door wouldn't seal or something. Anyways, while we're sitting there not getting to catch our flight back to the U.S., I started like not feeling very good. We were 3 weeks in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So they put us in like a hotel right next to the airport, not feeling good. Wake up the next day, we had an early flight out. On that flight, I was like so sick, and I had no medicine or anything. May or may not have had COVID. I don't know. But
It happens. It's happened to us
it,
all
it,
at this
it was
point.
2023. Okay. So,
Right. Yeah.
I just drank the whole time on the way home. I was like, there's nothing. I'm miserable.
Right.
And
I mean, if anything, alcohol is going to make you feel better. It's going to kill the germs.
I felt real bad once I finally got home. But
Yeah, but during the flight, you're able to stomach it. So
yeah, that's
what
a
matters.
long flight to be really sick.
Hell
And,
yeah,
they
especially if
just-
you're going straight from Amsterdam. So was it from Amsterdam
So-
to DFW?
We ended up having to go Amsterdam to Paris and then to DFW.
Damn,
Yeah,
great trip though.
that was my only experience in Amsterdam.
Other than that,
I wish we could have stayed there longer.
where all did y'all go in Italy? I don't remember.
Man, we went to Rome, Florence, and Lake Como.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get some pointers on Lake Como.
Those are all the spots I want to see in Italy.
It
I
was
wanna-
awesome.
I want to go to Venice. I've been to Rome and Pisa, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And I want to do
guess
Venice,
Pisa would
Lake
be
Como, and then we're gonna do the Amalfi Coast. I forget where it is, but it's like the south. I don't know.
Do you
of Italy.
keep like a map or a record or anything cool to document all the places you've been?
Yeah. So I put it on Google Maps. I pin all of my favorite places on Google Maps. So that if I go to Denver and I'm like, I forgot that pizza joint, I'm going to have it pinned. Because but I do in my home, we've got this map, and it's like the places Chad has been are red, where Sarish has been, where we've been together, and where we want to go together.
Yeah.
And so, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. You do something like that. It was my first time to Europe, so it's not a lot of
I still haven't been to Europe yet.
But you've been all over the U.S.
Yeah.
You've been touring and stuff. I mean, we're going to get into that.
Yeah,
but you've been all over.
Yeah, been all over, but nothing was like Europe. Although, even though it was awesome, by the end of it, I was like, loved this. Really proud to be where I'm from. Like, gave me like a little bit of sense of home pride, but I loved it. I would go back to all those places.
Did it also open your eyes to how others live?
Yeah, like all kinds of. I mean, we were in 3 different countries in like 3 different places in each country,
and 3 different languages.
Yeah, it was really cool. Oktoberfest though, man, everybody has to go to that.
Shit.
If you've ever enjoyed a cold beer, you got to go there.
I've been wanting to do it.
So did you get to do the tent like you were?
Yeah, we were in Hofbrauhaus.
Okay.
And they have like the liters of beer.
Yeah. Did they stack them?
Man, they would stack them and bring them over. Speaking of, we're in a simulation. All right, we're over there. It's the only one we didn't have to have like a reservation. There were some like high tops you could like walk up to if they were available, and we went kind of early. Mind you, we didn't eat this day when we're in Munich. We were like, we'll eat there.
Right.
We came in, we got a hot dog and a bottle of water. That's all we'd eat. That's all. It's like noon. So we had actually, it was like this was like a year delayed honeymoon trip, and we were like walking around looking for something to eat for breakfast. And I didn't love the breakfast in Germany options. I didn't love that.
Yeah.
And it's literally like hangry. We've been walking like for an hour, kind of bickering a little bit. Like, we just need to go get something to eat. Let's get in here. And we get a hot dog, a bottle of water. We go find a high top in Hofbrauhaus, so we get a spot. There's just one other couple, like at the one next to us. And it's just kind of that, like, we're obviously tourists here like everybody, but we didn't have a spot. Maybe we're going to end up talking to them. They just kind of looked at us and we're like, hey, how's it going? We're like, hey. And they're like, where are you from? We're like, oh, we're here from the United States. Like, where? We're like, Texas. They're like, where? And we were like, Fort Worth. And like, cool, we're here from Austin. You like want a drink? And I was like, the simulation, man. It always has to keep it spicy.
It's great, man.
We were at a brewery in Amsterdam, and there was a couple from Austin that we ended up sitting at this table. Why are people always from Austin? Like, Austin's not that big, but everyone's always from Austin.
No.
Well, it was got really drunk with those folks, and so friends for life.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love the feeling of getting to explore. It's always crazy to me to think, like, you talking about, oh, I just went to Europe once, but you've also traveled all over the U.S. and stuff like that. People don't leave their hometown.
Yeah.
People just are stuck in their hometown, and they're completely fine with that.
Which
and
is
I
wild.
just will never understand the mindset of, like, not wanting to kind of enjoy other cultures and places. And
I mean, I didn't move out of my hometown.
No, I mean, same. I mean, Fort Worth will probably always be home, but I get out as much as I can.
Well, I mean, I moved out of my hometown. I'm sorry. River Oaks. Okay. I live in Fort Worth.
Shut up. It's all the same.
No, if I can walk about half a mile
down the road.
I can walk about half a mile to be in River Oaks, but you know,
right? Like
I was just talking about how much I love it up here, though. We were looking to get a house up in this area. We looked at a few houses, and it didn't happen.
This area is crazy, man.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you get up here, it's like, man, this is still Fort Worth.
Yeah, for sure. Where are y'all at? Same place?
So we still live in the same place right now,
okay.
But we just bought a house.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, thanks. Down closer to like 20 Hewlin area.
Okay, yeah,
whatever down there. Awesome spot. Hitting that cul-de-sac life.
Man,
very excited about the cul-de-sac.
I grew up on a cul-de-sac.
Is it in some of those houses like just south of 20? Either way,
you know what? Just give us your exact address.
Actually, can you just pull up a map and I'll just pin it?
No, I asked because like right there, like just south of like the TCU area, and then just south of 20, there's just like really cool looking homes.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure our buddy Raphael lives over there. Our buddy G lives over there.
Well, and Zeus used to live over there.
Zeus used to live over there. There's just like really cool homes. Like
there's cool neighborhoods that we didn't even know were over there.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like. You know, you're not too far from the interstate, but you can't see or hear the interstate, and you can just kind of like, we're in this little cul-de-sac community.
That's the way to go.
We haven't even moved in, and the neighbors invited us to Cinco de Mayo cul-de-sac party. And they were like, hey, let's get your number. We do like 4th of July and holiday parties and stuff. And we like pull up on Cinco de Mayo in the evening. We were like late because we were doing packing and stuff. And everybody's just in their lawn chairs, like in the middle of the cul-de-sac with like picnic tables set up, and everybody like potlucked it, like really cool stuff, and we just rolled up. Like,
Dude.
I was like, this is cool.
I've always wanted neighbors like that. I'm not a very neighborly person, so it's
Yeah.
probably mostly my fault. But that is awesome. Like, just to live in a place where you're able to kind of just hang out with the people next door.
I hate my neighbors. I got neighbors on one side, man. I come home and they're parked in my yard.
Are they on right now?
I wish.
Tim's going to be one of those guys that sits in the front yard with a water and just sitting in the chair. Just
I don't mind if
just
people
observing and then briefly yelling at whoever.
I don't mind people walking through the yard. I don't mind that at all. You know, I'd rather you walk through the yard than walk in the street and get hit. You know,
I don't think that you would be bothered by the people as much as you want to see what's going on, so you can come and complain to us about
yeah.
how shitty those people are. Like that's you.
No, but my next door neighbors on one side, the other ones are great. They're real friendly. They're sheep or goats. I think sometimes like there's a certain color.
Goats.
Your neighbors have goats?
Yeah. This one looked like it looked like a sheep, but it was brown.
Okay.
Is that a thing? Brown sheep.
Barbados sheep.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Seriously?
I mean, that's a thing.
Is it really?
Then that's what it was because
It's like a ram sheep looking thing.
yeah, but it didn't have horns. It was I believe it was a female, and they call them does or I don't know. I'm asking you. I think they're called does, but
I look like I know.
I don't know.
I know that you grew up.
I grew up in Granbury.
In Granbury,
and I did grow
so
up, on a ranch.
I just assumed that everybody from Granbury knows their sheep.
What?
I just threw out Barbados sheep because we had some Barbados sheep.
Yeah,
or my grandparents did.
I honestly think that's what this was, and it showed up on my front porch one night, and it was eating our mums. I'm just like, what is this? And it turns out it's my neighbors, and I brought it over there. They're real nice. But the other ones, man, they park in the yard, and I have to mow around them, and I never know if anybody's home, but there's cars there, and sometimes there's 6 cars there, sometimes there's only 2, sometimes there's none. It's the weirdest thing.
Huh.
I don't know where they're going and where they're coming, but
It's like people leave their home and they come back.
I just assume they
And
stay
sometimes
there.
they have family
Sketchy.
over. They seem like
Sketchy.
bad people.
Sketchy.
Right? They seem
Can't trust
awful.
them.
It's the parking in the yard.
I mean, if you have family over and you don't have enough room,
Park on the street.
Just pulling up here.
hey, as long as maybe they're trying to leave room for you and your family if they come over. Like maybe they're just being nice. You ever think about that?
I've got a driveway.
I'd rather mess up my yard than remove your space.
No, they're parking in my yard.
No. It's everything's their yard.
I see where the fallacy was. My whole reasoning.
You're an idiot.
I need to pull out a survey.
Yeah.
No, it's growing up in the cul-de-sac though. We used to have like little block parties at our end of the cul-de-sac, and I remember we had a double cul-de-sac, so there was no traffic.
Yeah, that was weird. And there was a lot of people that we knew that lived on that street.
Yeah, yeah. Man, our buddy Chase lived right down the street from me. Did I ever go to his house? Like twice.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, but I got to ride my bike up and down the street, and I had to worry about it. Dude, it was great growing up there.
There's also a really nice like park basketball court, caged in, full court. The nice goal reel is up and down, like walking distance.
You can start hustling.
Every time I drive by, and it's like, there's always some people in there playing. I'm like, I'm gonna ball his life, hoop dreams.
There you
All
go.
right, these ankles need to go. Just tear them up.
Yeah, just fuck those things up. You know what I mean?
It felt like a good excuse to go order some new Lucas or something.
Yeah. Why not?
Gameplay shenanigans. I can attest from being from Granbury. I have no clue about sheep. You're a liar. You're a damn liar, is what you are.
So I was about to say something, and you just.
I'm sorry, man.
You just fucked it up.
I fucked it up.
What was I gonna say? Damn it! I don't know. Whatever. So
We never got into what he's been up to the past
for
couple
the
weeks.
past couple of weeks. Like we're not getting into the past year because we're getting into that in a little bit. But just the past couple of weeks,
It's
what have you been up
been-
to?
man.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Shut
Yes.
up! Shut up! Shut up! I know your new favorite bar near your area,
The new area?
where you live, where you're going to live or live now.
Okay.
It's gonna be Yups.
I don't even know of Yups, but
Google it.
20 in
Go
Granbury.
on a random night.
It's an old Pizza Hut.
It is
No way.
so legit. It is.
People have been stabbed there. But I'm gonna tell
That's how
you.
you know it's good.
I'm gonna tell you, it's the weirdest. It's been a while since I've been there.
I'm pretty stabbable. Sounds like my kind of place.
It is. It's the weirdest clientele there. Like it's just like it's a mixture of all walks of life, and they do karaoke.
Almost every night there's karaoke. The place is like a bar and then some seating. Like it's pretty weird, but it's awesome.
I wish I knew about this place. Okay, a couple weeks ago. You say oh man, I forgot about this. first 30 couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I went and did karaoke. It was like 3 weeks ago, I want to say. I hadn't done karaoke since like beginning of COVID.
But you're a singer, so you're just blasting these
It's way
fools.
different.
No, it's not.
Actually,
I haven't done this in so long,
this
guys.
is all,
I'm a professional singer.
it
though.
was my I'm like story on top of story. So back in the fall, my wife started working at Cook, and she had like her first like holiday work party. She was like, "Hey, let's go to this. We want to meet people or whatever, like outside of the work scene. Like, let's be friends or whatever." So we go to, I can't remember the name of it. It's like a brewery over on 7th. It's just on the north side of 7th. It was awesome. I can't remember the name of this brewery. I feel bad.
7th.
North side of 7th.
North side of
Bankhead?
7th. I think it was
Bankhead.
Bankhead.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it
that
was
used to be
place
Deep
is
Ellum.
So it was awesome. It's finishing up, and one of the nurses and nurse practitioners was like, "Hey, we're gonna go over to Rabbit Hole," and I was like, "Okay, like, let's go." And they had karaoke. I knew another musician who was there, and he brought over some drinks. I started drinking a little bit. This was right after World Series. I may have done some Creed karaoke. I may have yelled "F Houston" and "F the Astros," and I think there is video evidence of this. And I was
Yes.
like, I really hope my wife has jobs tomorrow.
Please say you.
Now, did you do Creed in your voice or like
It was
butt rock voice?
It was no. It was my my impression of butt rock voice.
Oh, I love it. I love
I was
it
about to
so
say,
much.
like, please say that you did it in Scott Stapp.
Nobody
voice.
can do that except for him.
Are you gonna see him? I mean, they went on tour. I kind of want to go.
My wife just texted me. I guess she's listening. She said Maple Branch.
Oh, it's Maple Branch.
Oh,
yeah.
that place is great too.
Yeah.
That little garden area.
Yeah, that was
beer
awesome.
garden's great.
Did you sing with arms wide open?
I sang higher.
Okay, that's a classic to go for.
Anyways, fast forward. We're talking karaoke. So a few weeks ago, I just like lucked out like the last 3 weeks going to some awesome ball games.
Yeah.
So buddy of mine, Kyle Barnes, he plays bass for Cody West. Mm-hmm. He hits me up out of nowhere and he's just like, "Hey man, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I was like, "Man, not a whole lot going on." It was Wednesday a few weeks ago. He's like, "Cool, you're going with me to the Rangers game and we're sitting like row 14 behind home plate." And I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Also, this is like the all-inclusive, all you can eat and drink." It was amazing.
Shut up.
He hadn't been out in a while to do anything, and we finished up having a great time. Uvalde was pitching that day.
Yeah.
It was great. We had to go find some karaoke. If I'd have known about Yups, we'd have gone there. We went to the Stockyards instead, and I think we sang some more Creed, actually. But
Is that just your go-to, or is
Creed, Britney Spears,
okay?
maybe NSYNC.
We got to do karaoke soon.
We should.
We need
Maybe
to do
Yups.
karaoke. Yes.
I
Yup.
Yup.
Missed
Is
it.
it Yup or Yups? Oh, yeah. I said yep.
Yeah.
Sure microphones.
Right. Surely.
They're surely.
I'll go with you to Yups. Yup.
So like 2 weeks later, maybe it was a week later. I don't know. In the last 3 weeks, my cousin hits me up and was like, "Hey, can you go to a Ranger game? I've got tickets." And the game moved up to like 1 p.m. from 7.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah, it's like row 14 behind home plate, all inclusive." I'm like, "What?"
The same shit.
So it was like 10 days apart. I got to go to the same exact thing. Never done that before. That was amazing. And then, really good friend of mine, Gameplay Shenanigans. Actually, I think that's who that was. His in-laws have season tickets to Stars and Mavs.
Yeah.
And we were playing some golf out in Granbury and having dinner afterwards. And I was like, "Hey, man, you going to go to any of those like Stars playoff games or anything like that?" I was not fishing for an invite.
Sure.
I really wasn't. Like, I kind of felt bad. And then his wife was like, "Hey, you want me to see if the tickets are available?" And we definitely went to, what game was it? It would have been 1, 2. I think it was game 2.
Okay.
Game 2. They won.
Of this last series? Like this
Yeah,
last
I think
one?
it was game 2. Either way, they won. It was awesome. It was my first Stars playoff game, and that was incredible. And I started ranking it, and I was like, Stars and Mavs playoff games.
Dude, the energy
That
of
might
those
be-
games.
Might be up there as like one of those is the best in DFW to be at.
Are you going to get to any of the rest of the games in this series?
To be determined.
Yeah.
If anybody out there wants
You know
to
what I mean?
invite me, I'm
And
there.
then also, yeah, I'm sure they're real expensive, but that would be so cool. Like the energy in the playoff games is just nuts. Just seeing it through the TV is already nuts,
Yeah.
but being there is not. There's just no comparison.
Well, it was awesome. So checked out a lot of ball games recently.
Yeah.
We bought a house. We've been doing a lot of packing, planning, and getting ready to move, and getting ready to like release these songs. Just did one the other day, and that's been really cool getting used to that again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Before we get started, I'm trying to get my for whatever reason I can't connect to the Wi-Fi, and for our next little segment leading into it,
Yeah.
I have to have Wi-Fi.
No worries. I haven't talked about what I was doing.
Yeah, I can't connect.
So,
So
I'll talk for 30 minutes.
go for it.
So thanks for asking, Tim. I 2 weeks ago, Sarah and I went to Hawaii. We got to go from we went to Maui. I was just gonna keep talking, asshole.
No, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
We went to Maui, Oahu, and Kauai, which I've never been to. It was just like Jurassic Park. It was like we were living in Jurassic
That's the
Park.
one island I want to go to.
It was
Out of all the islands, that's the only one.
All of them are great. I mean, I haven't been to all of them, but I've been to 4 of them. But Kauai is probably my favorite now. It was just really cool. We ended up, she knows someone that lives there. Talk about random people. And he like reached out. He's like, hey, y'all want to have dinner? So we went to their place and he made us like fajitas and stuff like that, which was perfect because we were kind of missing a little bit of Mexican food. When you went to Europe, were you missing Mexican food by the time it was over at all?
Yeah, for sure. By the time it was over, I think we talked about it a few times. It was like everywhere we went for what we were trying to find, like in Italy, like
Yeah.
the best Italian food I'd ever had
Yeah.
in my life and all that. But yeah, really, I miss Tex-Mex. Bad.
Did you know the al dente? Before I went to Italy, I didn't know that pasta's supposed to be chewy. Like a little.
So
I had no idea.
The first place we went, I ordered like I was like, can I get like just like spaghetti meatballs? And they were like, what? Like we'll bring you spaghetti and then we can also bring you meatballs. Do with it what you
They're
will.
2 different things.
I'm just like, I don't need this plate. You can take it back. They're just like, all right.
Fool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it would have been interesting to try to eat Mexican food in Italy.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a Mexican food
I'm
joint
sure
in
there
Rome
is.
that's like good.
I'm sure there is. We went to one in Paris years ago. Javier and I and some friends went to Paris, and there was this place called, I want to say it was El Guacamole or El Avocado. It was something avocado related. But it was this family that moved to Paris from Mexico, and they used all of their recipes from Mexico, but with all of the fantastic like cheese and breads and things from France.
Okay.
And so you had these quesadillas that just the stringiest cheese you've ever had in your life, and it was pretty fucking good.
Damn.
It was so good.
Should have looked for Mexican food while we were in Europe. I knew it.
I feel like every time I go somewhere, I'm always fiending for Mexican food by the time I get back, because no one's got it. I mean, unless you go to like California or New Mexico, Arizona.
Or randomly Salt Lake City, Utah, and go to the Red Iguana.
Which has the best mole of all time. Yeah, I don't know. I always want to like have Mexican food. So when we were out in Hawaii, I was like ready to come back to get like, that's my first meal when we get back usually.
Yeah. I actually think I swear we went to like Papacitos like on the way home. We're just like, let's just go. We just want some sloppy fajitas right now.
Gotta have it, yeah. But yeah, Hawaii was great. Got to do some hiking. We drove up this mountain that we were above the clouds, which was really neat. I've never done that before. Did you see any of the pictures or anything like that?
Yeah, I looked through some of them that looked really cool on the mountain crying. That was neat.
Do tell.
He did look.
No, I did look.
In Kauai, it was raining a lot, and so like on one day there was like one waterfall on the mountain, and the next day there was like 20 waterfalls on the mountain because the rain made it look like there was just waterfalls everywhere. It looked like it was crying a little bit, but no, it was a fantastic trip. Ate some really good food, and then we went to New Orleans for Jesse, which is great. Worked a few days in between then, and yeah, it's just been busy the past couple of weeks. It's been nonstop.
Ate so much food in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was good food too. I had my first oyster shooter. I'd never done that before. Have you ever done an oyster shooter?
What's
Do you
the
like
difference
oysters?
So I just had some oysters recently, but they were like fried oysters.
Yeah.
That was great. Oysters, regular oysters,
Like
it's like
raw.
I will eat it to be like a part of the collective that's eating the oysters.
Right.
I've never been like, since the first time I had them, I've never been like, I really want oysters today. It's never happened. But the fried oysters are bomb.
I'm with you. Like, I will eat it because of the experience, but I prefer like a cooked oyster.
Yeah.
Like Rockefeller, or we had, what is it, like broiled or something that you had? I don't know. But yeah, we had them in a shot, basically like a mini Bloody Mary shot, and they stick a raw oyster in there and everyone shoots them. It was not fantastic, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It's all right. It was a thing. I can say I checked that off the list, did that thing.
I'm maybe not classy enough for that. Then again, I'm from Granbury, and like catfish is my favorite like fish.
Bro.
Or seafood. Does that count as seafood? Does catfish? It's lake food.
Lake food.
I mean, you
Not
wouldn't
in
go to a
Granbury.
restaurant and go, I want lake food, please. Fish is seafood, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, crawfish is seafood.
Yeah.
That's just,
That's Nolans.
So we've got a pond out past Weatherford that is full of catfish that we haven't fished in 4 years, and I don't know what's in there anymore. I gotta go check. We gotta go check that out.
Probably the world's biggest catfish.
Probably some big ass,
biggest
crazy
catfish in Parker County, maybe, if you just left it alone.
Yeah, so we gotta do that.
They just eat each other and then keep getting bigger.
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be like 5 eyes, and I don't know. Yeah,
that's
whatever.
the one I want to deep fry.
Inbred catfish. That's what we're going for. All right, Sam, are you ready? I'm done. I'm done talking.
Man, I don't know what's happened, but
Okay.
none of my. I finally got my computer to actually do a Wi-Fi connect
That's
to Wi-Fi. I'm trying to pull up now my iMessage.
That's good because that gives me
So
an
I
opportunity
can-
to eat another bite of the sandwich because I want to.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Because I really don't want to play it through my phone through the microphone, and I don't know where the dongle's at. So
Dongle.
let me see if I can get this pulled up. If I have to, then we'll do it the way that, and that's what it looks like it's
So
going to happen. So we have been creating music, okay, Dustin,
Nice.
and
I'm not trying to compare.
Do tell.
We're not trying to compare and say we're better than your music. We're just saying that we make music.
Yeah, and I created a song, and it's actually about Dustin Massey. So I'm gonna pull this up with my phone. We're gonna have to play it like this, which kind of sucks, but it's all good. So this will work out. I just want your honest opinion on.
Where'd you make this in? GarageBand?
I'll get to that here in a second.
Voice memos.
I'll get to that here in a second.
In the heart of Fort Worth, where the legends are made,
This is great.
there's a tall, athletic man with a country rock parade. Long hair for a while with a porn stash to make you grin. Dustin Massey's here, let the music begin. Oh, Dustin Massey, with your rock and roll soul. Country roots deep, making every story whole. From the stage to the stars, you're a vocal pride, saying tales of life where the wild runs right. He's got the rhythm, he's got the groove. Dustin Massey's music makes you wanna move, a legend in the making, with a heart of gold.
This needs to drop on Spotify. This is the song that's going to be on all my reels.
We're gonna make an album, and
So it's all done with AI.
That AI is better than me.
it's getting insane. It's getting real weird.
I had this whole method to my madness. I pull up. I use ChatGPT, and I'm like, I was like, create some lyrics, this type of song, and I asked them for some adjectives,
I helped with the porn stash.
That's great.
and so I was like, all
be
right,
like
let's
Tim,
do
okay?
that, and then and that's what it spit out. So I was like, cool, there's the lyrics, and I go on this website and I put what type of song I want, and it spits out 2 versions, and I pick the best one.
He's got a voice of an angel.
Yeah, whoever that is. There's a hang on. There's another version of that. Let me pull that up real quick.
Why don't you pull that up?
Damn,
real
I'm
quick?
going to have to start co-writing with AI. All right? Let that come back with a Funky Panther song.
Ooh.
In the heart of Fort Worth, where the legends are made, there's a tall, athletic man with a country rock parade.
I don't know what the parade is about.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Long hair flowing wild, with a porn stash to make you grin. Dustin Massey's here, let the music begin.
Ooh, that's smoky.
Oh, Dustin Massey, with your rock and roll
It's good. That's the thing. It's
I
like
need this to be our walk-up music. Can you send me this?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, we could make that happen. It's the most ridiculous the way the AI is getting with like music and everything else, man. I'm here for it. I'm just waiting for it to be able to where we can take our voice, which I think we're almost there, because we can already mimic our voices, and I think we can take our voice and then produce some songs.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like the video aspects that are going to happen, like be able to say, "Hey, I want this," because it's coming. and like just have videos and movies. Like, can you imagine the shit that's going to come
it's
up on TikTok?
It's already there. So we use this at work for making some training videos. I can give it a script, and it doesn't like have someone talking and acting it out, but it picks like stock footage.
Yeah.
And has a voiceover, and so it does like this whole narration, and then
Wow, crazy.
All right, so
We are well past our first 30. You ready to get into it? Get in here. We got to start the show. Oh, hello, everyone, and welcome to the funkiest of Panthers. We have got an awesome show for you here on episode 174. Hooray!
Oh, there it is.
We have got our buddy Dustin Massey in the building. You want to say hey?
Hey guys.
This is our third time with Dustin. Woo! It's been a while, but we're so glad that you're back. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's get into it. I'm Chad.
And I'm Tim.
And I'm not Javier, but I'm Dustin.
And we are the Funky Panther.
It was rough, but we'll give it to you. He didn't know. He didn't know.
We both looked at him. He's like, "Oh shit, what do I do?"
He didn't know.
I remembered that Javier's part. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Javier
To be fair.
He did get up right before Dustin went on at Lola's, and
yeah. He
inadvertently
that was Mags. That was Mags.
or Mags,
Yeah,
Mags,
I
yeah.
remember that.
Mags
And
a long
inadvertently,
time
like he
ago.
didn't. Dustin had no idea that was happening.
No.
And Javier was gonna do stand up.
Did you even know, like, when you came on stage?
Dude, so we kind of like did the show's over. We walked out the side, right?
Yeah.
And we're hanging out there, and we turned. He's like, "Who's on stage?" And we look, and Javi's up there, like, with the mic, and I'm like, "I don't know what's happening right now. We shouldn't go back in yet." Maybe he's trying to get him to yell for an encore, which they did, and it was cool. And we had to come back out and kick him off the stage. But I don't know what he was doing. He was definitely sober.
Yeah,
and
100%
collected, and was on a mission.
Yeah. That was such a good night, and it was such a good show. And we brought our friend Jordan. It was like she was celebrating her birthday. My birthday is right around that same time, and she got to listen to you for the first time. She's a huge fan now, and it was such a good night. It was a great night. So many good nights at your shows, like the one at Lola's not too long ago. That was a great night.
I wish I had. Oh, what a night! You know.
Oh, what a night!
And just drop that, and then that's it.
So if you're listening, you probably don't know that Dustin does a really good Javier impression. And if you're watching us on YouTube or have been watching for the first 30, like some have already been doing, thank you for hanging out with us. Javier's not with us tonight. Sorry about you. We love you, buddy. But he's not here. We have replaced him with a more beautiful, long-haired man, Dustin Massey.
Hang on. I think Javier is here.
Oh, is he?
Sometimes you have to just bend over and let life fuck you in the ass.
Whoa, Javier!
Come on.
Time out.
Okay.
You just barely show up and you drop that? Come on. That's
Hey,
ridiculous.
Chad, let me see that pink little penis.
Oh, whoa, buddy.
Dude, you gotta calmate. Oh my goodness. So it has been what, a year and a half? 2 years?
It's been 3 years.
It has not been 3 years.
3 years to the month since I've been on.
Wow.
It was 2021. We were about to release. We either just released Bad Love or we're about to.
This is your third time on, though.
Yep.
So I guess you came on twice within that first year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did it like before, like at the beginning of 2021, when I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're gonna release Pretty Okay," which was the first single, and then we were getting ready to release Bad Love and be like, "Hey, I'm about to get rock and roll on y'all." Came back on and hung out, and it was great. And then a lot of life has happened in 3 years. I was on the treadmill today, and like I was like, "Man, I need to like get my thoughts out of like what has happened since the last time I've been there." I was like, I need to make a timeline for myself, for my own records, to be like, what has happened? Because a lot of life has happened, and it hit me that it's been 3 years, like to the month.
Do you feel like, and I was having this conversation with my girlfriend the other day, the past 4 years, mostly 3, but 4 years have just been all over the place. Like I can't get my memory right. Like things happened around COVID, and I was like, 2020, I know what happened then. But then the 3 years after everything, I'm like, well, was that a year ago? Was that 5
They
years?
call that COVID brain.
Is it really?
What did they call it before COVID?
You're
Because I
right.
had it then too. I think.
Stupidity? Old people? I don't know what that is.
Somebody's like, the COVID brain fog, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay. So before COVID, what was my excuse? But
Why was my brain not working then?
Yeah, I feel like I did the same thing. I started writing things down and started like putting them in chronological order so I could figure out what happened in my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But you've had a ton of things. So are we able to go through those things?
Sure. Like we were, let's see. So 3 years ago, we were here getting ready to release Bad Love,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So I would have just had like 2 singles out then. We had the album release. That was like end of August 2021, which we were talking about when Javier's debut for stand up.
At Mags.
Then, the
Old
next,
Mags.
the old Mags,
Yeah.
RP. It was just kind of like a tear for that next year. It's kind of wild. So, at the end of the summer, right before the album came out, I released a song "Wannabe," and it was really cool. It got playlisted with I think it was called like Nashville's Fresh Finds. Maybe it was a pretty large playlist. I
Yeah.
don't know. 30, 40, 50,000 monthly listeners or something on that.
Damn.
So the numbers started jumping up a little bit. It's like, oh, this is really cool. Like, went from a couple thousand monthly listeners to like 10,000 monthly listeners or 5,000 monthly listeners, whatever it was. And then right after that, we dropped the album, and I released it through 1RPM, was distributing it out of Nashville, and we had a cool relationship then. And they were like, we're gonna pitch the album to like the playlisters, the
Yeah.
people who decide what goes on like a Spotify editorial and stuff like
Right.
that. And I released "Wannabe" because I was like, I at least want to put it out. It was kind of a song, like the cover art for the single was like a picture of me and my dad when I'm like 1, I don't know, and I'm like in front of like a little Yamaha keyboard, and
Yeah.
my dad's next to me, and I just took the Yamaha off and edited on "Wannabe." And I was like, I got to release this for my dad. That'll be really cool. And that's the song that was picked by the people who at Spotify or whatever that do the playlist, and it "Wannabe" got on the Texas Now or Texas Country Now playlist, and it has like 500,000 monthly listeners or something. So over the next, like around the time the album dropped to the end of the year, like, you know, monthly listeners went from, 1,000 or 2,000 to like 25, 30,000,
Yeah.
which was really cool because all of a sudden it got way easier to get booked. So it was like coolest show ever at Mags, packed out, sold out night. Just, I mean, I remember most of it, but we had a party that night. It was amazing. And that was kind of like it was weird. That was like my dream. That was kind of like my goal I had set out initially. It was like, I want to open for somebody awesome at Mags. And, like before COVID, we opened for Grady Spencer very early on like a stock show night. It was sold out. It was huge. We're like, okay, that's really cool. Second goal is like release an album. Third, I want to like play a packed night at Mags, because Mags was just like the spot that
Yeah.
I saw so many of the people coming up, William Clark Green, Mike Ryan, a lot of people that everybody knows from around here, that really hit it off. And that happened, and it was just like, that happened quicker than I expected. But a lot of it was just like ton of Fort Worth and community support, like from family to friends to people like y'all. It was just like, it wasn't like there's a whole lot of people doing that had way bigger numbers than me, and that have. But
Right.
I just feel like I've been like a part of this community that's been super cool.
organic.
And so, boom, like this thing happened, and I was like, I know that there's nothing like crazy happening right now. It's just like a lot of support and a lot of people a part of this thing wanted to see some of my dreams happen.
Right.
But then after that, it was just like, all right, we hadn't really like set a new goal or anything. So the next couple years were just kind of like crazy, just like going with the wave of whatever was happening,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you were constantly gone. Like, you were always doing things, right? Like, how many shows were you performing? Like, where all did you go?
man, all over Texas, and then we, Oklahoma, Kansas, New Mexico, Colorado, Idaho, Montana,
Yeah.
and all over Texas. Like a lot of fun, but a lot of nights driving back at like 4 or 5 a.m. And I'm driving back from San Antonio, and I've got like band sleeping in the back, or like my wife riding shotgun, and I'm just like, man,
You got to keep me awake.
yeah. And we would stay awake and pound Red Bulls all night, and then I would fall asleep a lot of times at like 5 or 6 in the morning, getting home, and just like it's Sunday, and then it would reset. But I'm still like working during the week,
Right.
So it's like I'd have like Sunday to kind of reset and be like, okay, gotta
Crazy.
get back.
So
to
you were
kinda-
doing all this while still like maintaining a regular job?
Well, I wouldn't call it like a regular job, but
But-
like I worked with my family, and
Yeah.
my dad, and so like during COVID, I got my real estate license, and so I started doing that on the side, but also doing property management. We had like a little company with some rentals and stuff, and it's like taking care of that stuff, and then playing music, and maintaining a relationship with my now wife,
Yeah.
who had a regular schedule. She'd be getting up at like 4:30 in the morning to hit the train to go to Dallas and be
Yeah.
a nurse practitioner. So
Congratulations to y'all
yeah, life.
since last time, right? Because I remember you talking about it to us after the show, and y'all got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I did like a show or like played a show or anything, and afterwards, it's just anybody listening be like, "Hey, I'm gonna like marry this girl."
Yeah,
That's how it
100%.
was. Like,
Like she understands that you told everybody.
Yeah,
that,
everybody.
right?
It was
Okay.
just
Everyone
like-
knew but her.
I spoke that into existence. Like, I'm definitely gonna marry her soon. They're like, "Didn't you meet her like a month ago?" It's like, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Once
know.
I meet her dad, totally gonna ask him.
Yeah.
But anyways, she's 6 months pregnant now, and we've been married. It'll be
Wow.
2-year anniversary, June 4th coming up.
Wow.
that deserves the kids.
Congratulations to both of you.
That
That's
deserves
awesome.
kids.
So yeah, so 2021's finishing out. That was crazy. We played a lot of really cool shows, like heroes of mine, like Wade Bowen. That was one of them. We played Wade Bowen a couple times, and I was like, man, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like grew up just loving Wade Bowen. But you know, tons of other really awesome artists that we opened up for, which was always the most fun to me, is like supporting really, you know, guys who are going to sell a ton of tickets, and I got to show up and just like do my job well.
Yeah, and the best thing about that is like the exposure to like new people that
Yeah.
never heard your music, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've ramped up going to a lot of concerts here lately, and I'll look and okay, I don't know, I know the headliner, but I don't know these other people, so I immediately start listening to them, and you start discovering so much good music that way. And so by you being in that place, I can only imagine like all the positive exposure you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And it just like one thing after another kind of just was happening. We got on some, you know, cool shows that I didn't think, you know, I had been doing it long enough to get on those shows, but I definitely wasn't saying no. And like I said, getting on some of those playlists really helped.
Does that really help? Like,
So
are there
much, so much? Because I remember prior,
venues
like,
be like, let me see your numbers first?
not like that, but it'd be more like the bigger artist booking agents
Oh,
or their
okay.
management.
I got you.
Nobody would ever be like, we don't think you're good. We don't want you to do this. You know, usually people would be like, hey man, like we'd love to give you a shot, but like you need to, you know, keep working your socials. I've never been like great at the socials. I go through seasons of like trying. I don't love it, but
Right.
you know,
I'm not good at it.
Got to do it. But
You've had a lot recently that was all really, really good.
Thanks,
Just
man,
by the way, I
thanks.
know
I've
we'll
been-
get to that, but
been very committed to trying to do the
it's
things
great.
I need to do.
I love it.
Yeah, getting on the playlists was awesome then, and we were on them for about a year. So hitting like spring 22, we played. This is closer to home, but Texas Live. Played the big stage inside.
Yeah.
With Fort Worth legends, Quaker City Nighthawks.
Oh, that's
Hell
awesome.
Dude,
yeah.
that was so cool. And, you know, got like pictures of like us playing and like the big Jumbotron screen like behind us. Like, man, this is, you know, if you crop it right, it looks like we were like some big deals.
We're in an arena right now. Yeah, that's,
You know, you just got to crop the photos right.
Right.
Maybe use some AI to just like
Yeah.
duplicate my family members that are right up front.
And you could say you
But-
played at the ballpark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Technically.
But man, there was just a ton of other awesome shows. But you kind of fast forward, we got to go out. So I got married in June 2022. Yep, that's right.
You're not even using notes. I'm pretty
Um,
pretty impressed.
Got married. We got married out in Colorado, and we were planning to. I knew that later that June, we were playing Highway 30 Music Fest out in Idaho.
Yeah.
Gordy Schroeder's Highway 30 Music Fest, and been looking forward to that for like a year because the previous summer it was just like a. I can't remember if I told this. I can't remember if this happened after the last time I was here, but like I just had like this random. We're driving on I-20 headed home. The girl who was helping manage me at the time like calls and was like, hey, can you be on a flight in 3 hours? And I was like, what? And just long story short, she was like, you're getting on a flight, you're going to Idaho, and you're playing this guy who owns a music festival's birthday bash that's to raise all this money. Whoever, like, people have dropped out because of certain things, and somehow we're far enough down the hierarchy that we're to you. So you're going. And I went, it was awesome, had a great time, and it was kind of like a, hey, thanks for coming out or whatever. Y'all wanted to play the music festival, and everybody cheered, and it was like
Building
super cool.
connections.
So a year later, we had been like really anticipating like that's going to be an awesome thing. Already riding high. I'm getting married at like, it was like our dream wedding in Colorado, like on a mountainside. There was like 20 people there. It was amazing. And I get done, we get done with the wedding. I can't remember if it was I think it was the day before actually. Like we had done the like the rehearsal dinner and everything. No phone service where we're at. You had to connect to Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was like really spotty. It would come on for like an hour or two and then be gone for like 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Just disconnect. So my phone connects to Wi-Fi and it is like exploding. And it's like my band and manager and people trying to get a hold of me because I got asked to play some more shows on the way up to Idaho. And some of them were in Washington, and we couldn't make it line up to work. But we played Highway 30 the same day as a guy, Koe Wetzel. A lot of people know who he is. Pretty big artist.
I've heard. Yeah. I think he's got a bar here maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And then we were leaving Highway 30. They were asking if you would route to Montana and go play in Bozeman with him and open up for him. And it was like the coolest music experience ever is like Highway 30 in Idaho, and then to go to Bozeman and play with Koe. And I know a handful of guys in his band, so it was super cool. Grew up with them. And it's just like, I'm about to marry my dream girl. And like on our like second or third time ever hanging out, she came to a show in Dallas and she was like, I won't be the girl who's chasing you around in a van. And you fast forward and it's like the days after our wedding and we're in like, not even a van. We were using my Shane, the other guitar player, his dad's King Ranch with a tarp over the back with all the gear. Like they're driving that. We're in a rental car because we were like meeting up, and they drove it all the way. They met us in Idaho, and they drove it up, and then we ended up going to Montana and playing with them. It was incredible. And then the rest of the summer played a bunch of really cool shows.
Damn.
So that year was just like, it was pretty dope.
I just remember following on social media and being like, God damn, he is everywhere. And then I would see things like Koe Wetzel and everything popping up. I'm like, holy shit, like this thing is just taking off. Because it seems like you were doing like one show that propelled the next show. And it sounds like it's about right. Because listen to what you're talking about, right? Just like, I don't know. It's crazy to watch from a distance. It really was.
I outkicked my coverage a lot that year. Honestly. But yeah, the summertime was still great. I think we came back and we played a cool show in Fort Worth with Cody West. Love those guys. And then we were hitting about the 1 year mark of the album coming out. And then I would say it was like probably like week 56 or something, Wannabe dropped off of that Texas Country Now playlist. And it's crazy to watch how just that happening, it was like every week, my monthly listeners would go from like 25,000, 23,000, 21,000. And I would like check it every Monday and be like, okay, maybe it's only going down a couple of hundred. And every week it was just like going down because you were exposed to so many people, you know? So it was like a lot of really cool things happened.
Did you see a spike in the rest of your songs too? Like, were people curious to be like
some of them?
Yeah,
some of them. Yeah,
okay.
it was cool. Like some songs that what was tough was like some songs that I didn't think Wannabe was going to be anything.
Yeah,
you know. I thought songs like Black Hearted Woman, like ones that I really liked playing, were going to like blow up. But like I think Black Hearted Woman has like not many streams. The acoustic version has more streams. Really? You know, but then Pretty Okay and Woman Like You ended up being one up there, you know, which is cool for Chelsea because I wrote it about her. But yeah, once it dropped off, the numbers started coming down, and that was tough. But it was like, you know, just the same as in COVID, like everything stopped for a while, and then like everything felt like it sped up. Well, it's kind of like for what we were doing in music, kind of felt like we got like slingshotted out of COVID into moving a lot faster than we probably should have been moving.
Right.
It was really cool. I don't think we like got ahead of ourselves or anything. We're just like rolling with it. Like we'll figure this out later. And then, you know, got dropped from that playlist and the numbers started coming down. It got a little tougher to book, but, that fall, so it'd been fall 22 in October, we were playing a show in Arlington at the Levitt Pavilion. It was really cool with Cody West actually. Yeah. And, my folks came out and dude, it was just such a great night. There was a ton of people out, and it's like a big stage. It had the big screens on the side or whatever. They actually, the whole show is like still up on YouTube. So it was really cool. And hadn't seen my folks in a while. Dad comes out to the show, really dope. And we like finished the set with Wannabe. And I don't know why, simulation maybe, but I like gave a spill about why I wrote that song. I like dedicated it to my dad. Yeah. And like I sing it like right at him. And it was just really cool. And after the show was over with, like called him backstage or whatever. gave him a big hug and told him I loved him. He said, I love you. And he was like, man, this is one of my favorite shows I've ever seen you play. The way it was set up, he had bad tinnitus from working on trains his whole life.
Yeah.
And he was like, the sound didn't bother me here. I didn't even have to wear my earplugs. I'll never forget him saying that because he always wore earplugs if he was at Mags or something.
Right.
And gave him a hug and asked him to walk Chelsea to her car and wave bye. And then he passed a couple days later.
Oh shit.
And so that was tough,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Kind of put things. I say to put things on the hold. I wasn't like consciously putting things on a hold, but just like all of life kind of just was just weird for a
Yeah, I
while.
mean,
Still is to a degree, but like there was a few months there, just like, do I want to keep playing music? I played a couple shows, but no.
Time just kind of stops.
Yeah, time did kind of stop, and months would stack up, but it would be like, man, feels like it's been forever. Also feels like it was like yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's weird how, like, I look back at it now and I'm like, man, how lucky am I that I had that show, that moment with him.
Yeah.
He got to see that year prior. He was at my album release.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so cool.
He was such a big cheerleader for you.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Is like I remember seeing him at their album release and just how like your whole family was just enamored essentially, and so to have that moment, I mean that's like that had to be like a driving force to get you back into it. Like looking back at like I did this, my dad loved it, didn't have to wear his earplugs. You really replaying all that stuff. You're like I got it. That's what he wants me to do. Get back in music.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It had to been that kind of mindset.
And not even just music, just in general, like shaking things or slow down a little bit and just be like, all right, it's so easy to constantly be like, what's the next like finish line I can put out there to chase after? And you got to have goals and stuff, but also just like, F it, let's live and soak some
Enjoy
things
the
in,
present.
right? So
Yeah.
I kind of made it a point once things caught up a little bit after the holidays and stuff, and it kind of sunk in that Dad was gone. Really thought about how much support I had from him and my family. My mom, she's amazing, and they just like always supported me like chasing the music thing. In fact, I was more the one like, nah, that's silly. I need to be more focused on this other thing. I mean, I went to school for so long.
Yeah.
I was just like, I need to be not doing the arts thing. But
That's that whole imposter syndrome that you mentioned the first time that you were on.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I fought it forever, and maybe I don't have it as much anymore because I just don't even think about it as much. I'm more just like thinking about the experiences and what's happening. It also helped in a lot of ways to get over kind of the coming down a little from the high of like, oh, the numbers are up and these things are really cool, and putting it all kind of in perspective. And so when 2023 was hitting, it was kind of like I knew I wanted to record some new music, and we did. And I wanted to like experience anything and everything, right? Like, so like slow down with my wife. Let's go. What do we want to do? We planned like the honeymoon we never got to do. And
Yeah.
so didn't play much music in 2023. Like we played a handful of shows. One of the cool ones we played in Fort Worth was the one you came out to, Lola's,
Man, that was so much fun.
where we kind of did the Rocky comeback promo. I was telling Tim, it's like I had so many people. It's the first time I like kind of TikToked a little bit and started doing the reels, and I really hadn't done any music promo in like 6 months. I just kind of like went dark,
Yeah.
and I popped back with like this gray nasty beard, and people were like, "How old are you, dude?
What happened?
I thought you were 25. Are you 48?" I'm like, "Man, I've had like a lot of gray since college. Leave me alone." But I am in my 30s now. But we like everybody came out. I was like blown away. Like I was emotional after the Lola show because I was like, "Damn, man, people still like give a shit."
Dude, it was
You know,
packed
a
too.
lot of
And it's in my opinion, I've been to a few Lola shows, and it's hard to pack that place out now, I feel like, because it's just, you got inside and outside, and it's just a big area.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fucking people there.
Man, the same night, Koe Wetzel, it's funny, that was who we were talking about. He was at Dickies Arena that
yeah,
night.
yeah.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like 14,000 people or something.
So half of Fort Worth was at Dickies.
And I just remember like finding that out the week of, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Shit.
Like, this is gonna, there's going to be 8 people at this show, and it was packed, and I was
Yeah.
just like blown away. It was really cool. There was a photographer who came out, and he was like, "Hey, I was supposed to photograph the Koe show, and for some reason they wouldn't take my credentials and let me in. So like, can I just photograph yours?" And we got like killer photos from that night
Hell
that
yeah.
I still
That's
use.
awesome.
Things still aligned.
That
you
was
know?
really cool.
Did y'all have like drink specials or something like that night? Right? Wasn't there like?
yeah,
shots or
I
something?
don't remember what they were.
Yeah, I don't either. But I remember I took all of them. I drank whatever was on the menu.
A buddy of mine was helping promote it
Yeah.
at Pearl Snapped on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Shout out, Steven. And he helped promote it that night and like helped me put together the poster with my really good friend and now manager Ryan. We took the picture outside of like the bar across the street from my house, and I just had like a fist in the air with my guitar and a beanie, and I tried to have like Rocky vibes with a hoodie on, like sweating out in the. People were like, why is this guy in sweats? It is June in Texas. This
Yeah.
is, come on, buddy. But yeah, that was like a ton of fun, and I can't even. I'm trying to think. I played a handful of shows to finish out the year.
Yeah,
And it
Rusty
started, like,
Nickel. There was one at Rusty Nickel.
yeah, I actually played the anniversary of my dad passing.
Yeah.
We were like, we got to do something fun, and it was like last minute threw that together. I actually booked that while we were in Europe because I didn't really have anything booked. I had like this really cool event at Tulips in town, but I didn't have a lot of music booked throughout the rest of the year. I was just kind of telling everybody no, being very selective. And so Rusty Nickel's amazing. Like we love
Fantastic
those
spot.
guys over there.
You liked it.
And-
You told us about Smokestack back
Yeah,
in
when
the
it was
day.
Smokestack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've done so much of it. We had our like wedding reception that was like months later after we got married. We had it there, so like we love it over there. But yeah, so when we're in Europe, we were on like I think we were still in Rome actually, and we were like pretty wine drunk, and we were up like there's like a lookout spot like where there's like a wall. I can't remember what it's called, but like there's a lot of people like making out and stuff. I was like, this is obviously like a place people go to be like romantic. We like I there was like a DJ, and my wife went to the bathroom, and I like tipped the DJ like 10 euros or something. I was like, hey, can you like play a song? And I had him play Woman Like You.
Yeah.
So she came back out, and we like slow danced, and everybody's like, oh, and like they were like freaking out, like we were like two-stepping and like clapping for us and stuff.
Hell
Really
yeah.
sweet moment. But anyways, I thought of that because I was like wine drunk, and I was like messaging the girl who books at Rusty Nickel. I was like, listen, I know this isn't like a month, but I have to play a show, and there's somebody on it. If I can get them to be willing to open for us and let us like play it and make it a free show, like, would you be into it? And they were like so cool. And they're like, hey, if you can pull it off, and the artist who's booked is down, we'll make it happen. And it all worked out. So that was really cool.
I got to introduce my parents to your music that night.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They loved it. They were super into it.
That was awesome, man. So that was a fun night. But yeah, it's crazy that happened. But yeah, going to Europe before that, I mentioned that was part of the like just go like live it. I remember like looking at the flights, and like it was like the planning was starting to rack up because we didn't use like a travel agency. Like
Yeah.
we're like, we'll figure this out.
Good
you
on
know?
you.
And we stayed in like 9 cities over 21 days, and it was like it's not cheap.
Yeah.
We did it like probably really cost effective, but I just remember being like, Dad would just be like, screw it, just go.
Yeah.
Just go do it. Just go do the thing. And actually, we did a lot of traveling, even more than just going to Europe. Like we flew to Arizona just to play golf and see a John Mayer concert, like last April. Like just doing fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
We went everywhere: Boston, Portland. We went all over, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Just like living it up. And so, not as much traveling for music last year as opposed to the year prior.
But you got to live some life.
We were living a lot,
Hell
and
yeah.
then hitting 2024 with like an EP in the pocket, and looking forward to playing more shows. And
You got the single that just dropped.
yeah, just dropped. Always Been This Way, and man, the timing worked out really well on that. Like I wanted to, make it like song of the summer type of vibes. If
Yeah.
it's like an upbeat song, and felt like it would be really cool for like hitting summer. So
It's fun. I like it a lot. It's great.
and the response has been cool, and we'll see if it gets playlisted or whatever. But I've kind of made, obviously I wanted to, and I just saw that it got on like a BMI like fresh release or something, top 10 playlist for like something like that, BMI fresh finds or something.
Yeah.
Some BMI playlist, and BMI is pretty cool because
Yeah.
they like know everybody in music.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Did
And
it
then-
drop 2 weeks ago? Or before?
What day is it? No, it dropped. It was Friday.
Okay.
It was Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Friday at midnight. I'm gonna stop doing the midnight thing. I'm gonna be like Thursday at 6 p.m. Like I just like he was like, why does everybody do like it's dropping on this date and it like means midnight. Like as soon as it's like
Right.
it was dropping. I guess what was it like the 19th or something? I can't even remember the date now.
It's just what people do.
But
It's like
but it's
Thursday
like what
night
they
at
do, and I was
midnight.
like, why can't I'm gonna stop? No, I'm Graybeard. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start dropping the song at like 3 p.m. on a Sunday, like when
you're eating dinner.
Dustin's rebranding himself as Graybeard now.
Yeah.
Graybeard. Welcome to Graybeard Show.
Yeah.
Graybeard the Wise.
Anyways, yeah, really proud of that song being out and looking forward to whatever it does. But just it was a really cool process making it, and we cut it like more than a year ago. We did it with Josh Serrato. He plays for Koe Wetzel. he used to play. He used to play for William Clark Green for a number of years.
Yeah.
Josh is incredible. He's got a studio, Melody Mountain Studios out. It's where they have Larry Joe Taylor Festival.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's so cool. You like drive out to this pasture and you're like, where am I? And then you roll up and there's just like this amazing studio inside, and used my guys like the guys you've seen me play live with.
Yeah.
Nathan on drums, like he was killer. He's got to do some brag on him. He got to do some really cool things in this last year. Since I was playing a little less, he's played more with some other artists, and one of them got to open for Cody Jinks at Red Rocks.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
So he, I now introduce him as Nathan the Red Rocker Zine. I don't do that. But
Yeah, well,
if
it
he ever
didn't really
listens
roll
to
off
this,
the tongue.
if he ever listens to this, he'll be really glad I did that. I did that so I don't have to pay him more since he played Red Rocks. But
Yeah, good call.
yeah, and then Cam, bass player, he's like, he got like an incredible job. Like he like has been a full-time musician forever, and now he's like a manager of a bank in Dallas out of nowhere. Just like actually, he got this job. He got like a job as like a teller like the week we had album release. And I remember him being like stressed out because we were like rehearsing and stuff and everything like this. But he was like getting ready for these interviews, and now it's like however 2.5 years later or whatever it's been, and he's like a manager of a bank, and then he'll just like all the people from like Origin Bank will like come out to shows when we play. Like we played I'm trying to think, like we would play like Hanks and McKinney or something, and like his coworkers would show up, and I'm like, this is like Batman changing really quickly. He would like roll up for sound check like in a suit, and he's like, I've got his stuff set up, and he's like sweating and like just changing like Superman or whatever, getting ready to jump on stage. Miss sound check sometimes, just jump on stage and slay it. So that was really cool. And then Shane, who played lead guitar for me forever, he's incredible. And I was taking time off, and there's a guy named Kanan Bryce who was like, he's on the road with a lot of these bands. Like they've been on the road a lot with a band called Pecos and the Rooftops, and I don't know what happened, but he like posted and was like, hey, I'm looking for a lead guitar player. You got to be a pro, blah, blah, blah. And I just like immediately DM'd him. I was like, dude, you're going to think this is a joke, but like you should take Shane and go like play with him because he's too good to not be playing because I'm not playing right now. And so Shane's been playing.
Shane's incredible, man.
Shane
He is
just,
so
they
good.
just got off the road. They were in like North Carolina, South Carolina, like opening for Picks and the Rooftops and like kick-ass shows. So they're doing that, and it's
But it's his guitar on the EP?
Yeah.
Right.
And it was really cool this go around. On the album, I didn't write a whole lot of lead guitar stuff, but on this go around, we didn't use AI. But
Look, I'm just saying, if you need somebody to get you some
it's
AI
gonna get
music,
cheap
I
in the
got you.
studio. I'm just gonna be like AI Jimi Hendrix. Just, but no, so Shane was super cool. It was like a growth thing for us in the studio. Is I wanted to be really more involved in the guitar stuff, and I'm an okay guitar player, but like it's like when Shane's sitting next to you, it's really hard to want to be like, I'm gonna be the guy to play the guitar. He's incredible. So I like sang the parts. I like would write the parts, and I'd use my guitar, and I'd like come up with these melodies. Some of the like solos are him, right? But on Always Been This Way, it's like has like these na-nas, like these gang outros.
Yeah.
And I wanted that to basically, we came up with that after I came up with the lead guitar part. It's just like na 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 na, and it was like singing these parts to him, and he would play it, and I'd be like, okay, that's cool, and he'd mess with the tone and whatnot. And we have these like really cool videos. I think it's in one of my reels or TikToks or whatever I posted. And it ends with him like playing a lick and looks at the producer, and the producer's like, yeah. And there was that moment he was like, yeah, that was the take. And I'm like sitting there singing to him. He's playing it. and it's being recorded, and tracked by the producer. It was a cool experience because I just felt way more involved with that. I'm very proud of it. But yeah, and when we cut this EP, got more songs coming out, obviously, in just a few days, but it was like the beginning of 2023. Just kind of sat on it. It was like, when's it going to be the right time?
So I may or may not have gotten a link from someone that I know to listen to some of the songs.
And he may or may not have linked it or leaked it to
Yeah.
me. And
I noticed that the upload on those were like 8 or 9 months ago. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, he's been sitting on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Did y'all listen to him?
Oh yeah.
yeah, my favorite's the a little bit slower. I can't remember.
Heart
what
with
the
a
second
Hole?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man,
I want to sit outside in the pouring rain and just cry.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a hurting mood,
yeah.
just sit me outside in the middle of a field with the rain. That's a music video right there.
Man, you might get to be the star. We just like pop open a little bourbon
Bro,
and
if you
you
pull
sit there.
if you pull the Funky Panther in a music video, we're gonna love you forever.
We might have to do that, actually. That would actually be great.
I'll grow
Get
my
y'all.
beard out. I'll look all disheveled.
Man, that's Heart with a Hole's the next single release.
Okay, it's
So,
good, but it is
Be
sad.
looking for that at some point in June. It's definitely sad. Man, we're gonna release that one.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like lay it all out. I haven't told anybody this. So just dropped Always Been This Way.
Yeah.
We're gonna release Heart with a Hole next month, and then we're gonna release Swimmer Sink, which is the other
I
song.
love that one.
That one's like, these are like big sounds. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really really proud of it.
Yeah.
And then we're working on. It's not done yet, but it'll be whether it's all together or we'll do a separate. Like, there's these 3 tracks for the EP, and then I'm doing them again, like stripped down, like acoustic, piano, fiddle, like that's like violin, fiddle, violin. I don't know how to distinguish.
Kind
the
of like that
difference.
up in Nashville.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
whenever
the
you did that.
Nashville
Yeah,
sessions.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was cut just live. That was
Yeah.
just me and a guitar live on 3 songs. But similar to that, this will be. I don't think I'm gonna cut these live because I won't say who it is yet. But like I've got some like beasts.
Sure,
that are
yeah.
gonna be working on this.
Yeah.
That I'm really excited about. So yeah, I think it'll be cool because these songs are like big and rocking, and they're ready for
Yeah.
radio.
Swimmer Sink, the guitar in that one is fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that one. And then I love I'm going to butcher the lyric, but essentially like, I don't know if I'm living or just dying slow.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah,
a,
that's it.
is that it?
Yeah.
Such a,
Is this living or
love
just
that.
dying slow?
I love that.
Can I shake the feeling in my bones?
That just
Yeah.
stuck with me. I was like, God damn, that's good. Yeah.
Thanks. Well, all of those songs like were like gradually written over the last few years. There's different parts. It's funny when we got called back up after Javier's brief introduction to stand up.
Yeah.
So we actually didn't have an encore planned that night, and we were just like, "What are we gonna do?" And I had started writing this song called "Always Been This Way," which we just released. It was completely different than it is now. There was a lot of the same. I'd say like 50% of the lyrics are the same, maybe less, but the music was probably like 30% the same. And I remember going up there and like we hadn't rehearsed that for the show or anything. We're just like we were like in a powwow, like, what the fuck is Javier doing?
God damn it,
All right,
Javier.
he's buying us some time. What are we gonna play? Shane, of course, is like, let's just play Little Wing for like 8 minutes. And I'm like, that's an idea. That's an option. We got to go up there and do something. And we played Always Been This Way. And I think we played a cool version, whatever we did, but we hadn't ever like rehearsed it and got it ready for that. So it's funny that's.
I remember it being good.
Yeah.
Like,
I
do
remember not knowing that
yeah.
song. And I was
Yeah.
like, this must be new.
I think we did that, and then we did a Lenny Kravitz cover right after that. I think that's what we did. I think we did a Lenny Kravitz
you're right.
cover. Yeah.
But I mean, Shane wasn't wrong. You'd always do Little Wing. You'd
can.
always jump in the Freebird.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always some staples that you could just. Purple Rain, if you want to do a rendition of that. I mean,
It's just funny. The guitar player will always be like, he's like, any suggestion. Hey, what should we do? Let's play the song that's a guitar solo for 7
let me
minutes.
rip.
Let's just do it. Y'all just hold it down. I got this. And he does. But anyways, yeah. So Always Been This Way. Like I'd started writing that around the time the album came out, and it just kind of had a whole batch of songs ready to record and pick from. But these days, like. It's like the problem with some of the songs on the album that I wanted to get a little more attention. Mm-hmm. It's a single-driven music era.
which is wild. But I mean, because we've heard this from several musicians now, where it's and management groups. It's like you just got to pump those singles.
Yeah.
EP, pump a few singles out, put an EP out.
Yeah.
I blame TikTok, honestly.
It
It's
is
that
exactly the
short
problem.
form media. I want it right there. However, man, there are some artists that are getting some serious exposure, blowing up. Dexter and the Moon Rocks. I don't know if
Yeah.
his social media. He's
Ryan.
He's a drummer.
drummer,
Yeah.
yeah.
Started doing the whole like hot goth girl liking our and started doing and it just blew up like that and then sold selling out shows and stuff.
Yeah, they're killing it. It's funny. I just I was chatting with the guys that were in the studio that like did their first record or whatever, and they were kind of talking about like when they did it, I don't know that they knew like what sound they kind of wanted to have, and they hadn't blown up yet, and now they're like blowing up, and I think like we did that on purpose. That is our sound. We knew what we were doing. That's exactly what we were aiming for. But they're super unique. Like they have their own thing.
They coin it as like sad, like
Yeah.
Nirvana cowboy.
Yeah.
It's
It's dope.
if you haven't checked them out,
I have
they're
not.
they're worth listening to. They're good.
Yeah, they're great.
I actually
They're
reached
playing,
out to Ryan just kind of as they're starting to get up there, and he was like, "Hey, you're coming through town because they're from I think Abilene," and it's like, "You're coming through town, swing by, let's have you on, or let me catch a short interview with you, whatever." And he hit me with, "Hey, you got to run it through my manager." I was like, "Oh,
Oh.
man," and I get that. Like I'm not no. If you end up seeing this, I'm
He's a
sorry.
Fort Worth guy.
Yeah,
He
is
lives
he
here in
Fort Worth?
Fort Worth,
Okay,
yeah.
I have to reach back out to him.
Ran
yeah.
into him at last time I saw him was at Nickel City. After Joe P concert. I don't know if you ever heard of Joe P.
I
He's
have.
another guy who kind of blew up on TikTok towards the end of COVID, like producing his own music. He was great. But anyways,
Yeah, he does the he does all the videos where it's just him like on the guitar, like in his yard.
yeah.
So,
I stole the idea and slightly
Yeah.
changed it for the stuff we're doing. I was like, man, this is really cool. He kind of always does the same thing. He kicks a rug out, just walks up to the mic and starts playing. But it's usually always overdubbed, right?
Yeah.
He's just like he's actually doing it, but then he just puts the song right over it. So when I was like, man, how am I going to start doing these like TikToks and reels for the single release? Chelsea's my producer. She's holding the camera, but it's funny. She Amazoned in a Amazon Primed me a ring light stand. And she was just like, you need this.
stepping up your production.
You
there.
need
Yeah.
this. You weren't going to order this for yourself. But big time production over there. But yeah, we just like
Fancy.
one day we were like, let's just go there across the street and just set it there. And I just walk up to the mic and just start playing. It like turned out kind of cool. I don't have like a huge social media following, but if I did, man, I bet it would have blown
But
up.
that's the thing
It's
is
all
like
consistency.
it's
is all it
consistency,
is.
and
Yeah.
in one song,
yeah.
and then all it takes is that one song for people to start picking up and start using it in their, Instagram or whatever or their TikToks, and then it's just like fuel to the fire at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
It's super cool because even if, there's been a few that have, a few thousand views or whatever, but, and some of them only have a few hundred, but every time I post some, like there'll be somebody new, even if it's just one person that'll like message something or comment something and they're like, hey, this is dope. Somebody today, I got like reposted by this guy, really cool follow, Country versus Metal. And he's like a metal guitar player
Yeah.
who, dude, I think he has like 400,000 or 500,000 followers on TikTok. He's like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 on Instagram, but he just does like first reaction to songs, and he'll just be like, this song by Cody Jinks, this song by Zach Bryan, this song by Whiskey Myers, and he's done a handful of mine. Just be like, this is, I think the first one he did was Hard Times, my song Hard Times, and I think it's the reason why the streams went up on it, just because he reviewed it.
Oh shit.
And he just does.
Oh, I
like,
remember seeing that.
he just does
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a verse and a chorus, and he's like, oh yeah, I really like this guitar lick or whatever he's doing. And he's a metal guy, listening to like the Texas music, Texas country scene, and so that's really cool. But like, there's people who like message me. I would have never found this if it wasn't for that. Really dig your music, Somebody the other day was like, "Oh man, I just saw your sponsored." I always wonder about that. Like some of the posts that I posted recently, I'll put like,
What was it, Pendleton or?
well, there was that one.
Yeah.
That's a funny story. But yeah, like I'll throw like $10 on a boost or something.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, I'll just boost this for the next 3 or 4 days. So like it makes sure to get out there. I don't know how the algorithm works.
Yeah, I don't either.
I haven't paid for a blue check mark yet, so I think you have to pay for those now.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Chad's got one.
I got rid of it. I got
But
laid off and I got rid of it.
Doesn't it
I'm
help,
not
though?
official anymore.
It did.
It's like
I
if
got
you have the
quite
blue
a few
check mark,
followers.
you're gonna get more in the algorithm.
Yeah.
you're just going to.
You
and so
are.
sometimes I'm like,
when
maybe
I
should
stopped
do
doing
that.
it dropped off.
Cancel Netflix, Dustin. Pay for the blue check mark.
It's the
It
same.
makes better business sense.
It actually
it's a,
really
it's a
does.
write-off, bro.
It really does. You're almost to the point where you should be getting one by yourself anyway, right? Like all you need, I think that it used to be anyway, as long as there was people trying to act like they were you could. So all you need is couple of dummy.
Okay, so
Mustin
so what,
Dassy.
Y'all
So
are
what-
gonna make some and start
Yeah,
sending
so what
some
you're
weird
saying-
messages.
Dustin Massey not official. That's gonna be mine.
I'm gonna go Mustin Dassy,
There you go.
and then just like make it all him
Yeah.
with your face.
That's fine. I'll report y'all. That'd be fine. If that's what it
Just
takes.
gonna be me with a wig.
Save
Right.
me $16 a month on a blue check
You're
mark.
welcome.
I appreciate that. Have to bring y'all some steak sandwiches as a thank you. But yeah, I copied Joe P and just trying to like do the same thing over and over again, and it's been cool. Got more stuff planned, and I think I'm going to make. I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, we should just make my own music video with reels.
Hey, you should.
Like the Always Been This Way starts as like lying in bed, hardly sleeping, staring a hole through the ceiling, and it's like me in bed holding the phone faced on myself, like singing it, looking up at the ceiling, and I just flip it around and like have a GIF or a sticker or whatever just go across with like a shooting star.
Hell yeah.
And just like it's like obviously, it's like funny because of how poorly made it is,
Right.
But it still would all be overdubbed.
Dude, you could do like just 15-second
Yeah.
or whatever bits and put those each out as a TikTok and
Yeah.
then combine them into. Is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's genius because then you got
You just put
twofold.
each one out and then put the whole thing out.
Right.
And then maybe just put the ones that did well out again.
Right.
Yeah. TikTok rules the world now, man.
Yeah.
For like another year until they ban it.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I've seen Dune 2. I know how this works out.
Is that what happens when we get rid of
When you
TikTok?
get
Is
rid of
Dune
TikTok.
2?
Actually, I think it's Dune 1, but you know,
Right. I mean, they correlate.
that's what's coming.
Nice.
Man, I was trying to find this band real quick because you're talking about releasing your own music video through Reels. I mean, and that's kind of what there was this band that did a song called "Who's Laughing Now," and for the life of me, I cannot remember, and I hate that I can't remember it. But it was a brother and a sister that just during COVID they needed something to do, and they kind of started doing their own music.
Yeah, just drums and guitar, right?
Drums and guitar,
100% that.
and they literally threw up a yellow back like piece of paper that went down and filmed it in their garage, and it was back when TikTok was doing the short form media more and not so much long, and so it was just like snippets of that music video, and it just blew up. So all it takes,
Man, I feel like I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the
Uh,
name of him either.
Dury?
Yes.
Dury,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like a kind of like a bigger dude,
Bigger dude,
dark hair,
almost like a mullet, glasses.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
But again, all it took was just that kind of like that vision, and it was a very short snippet, but it had the hook, and people got into it and started. That's all it takes, man.
Yeah.
That consistency, and you start. I say do it.
I just got to keep
Just
with
do it.
You have to.
I'll look at some of my friends who've like started like music friends who've like started kind of really blowing up and growing on it, and dude, they post like 3 to 5 times a day,
That's a lot.
and it
Holy
is
shit.
a lot. But like it gets so lost in the algorithm that I feel like you're not like I'll see one and I'll be like, this is from 2 weeks ago, you know, and then I go look and it's like, you know. This was from 9 days ago, 9 days ago, 9 days ago, 9 days ago in a row, but I didn't see any of them. So I don't know that the algorithm just if you post 3 or 4 times a day, I don't think the algorithm just shoves all of those in a row.
Well, to you.
Well,
Lou says I asked Lou about that, Lou Charles, and he was like, just once a day.
yeah.
That's what he said, just once a day.
Yeah, but they're just going out there.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's the algorithm. So you might like a certain video, so they're pushing one thing to you. Tim likes other shit. That one might come to him. So the good thing about putting out 3 or 4 a day or whatever is you're setting out just a wider net is all you're doing.
Yeah,
It's a lot more work.
sure.
Yeah.
And your friends and your family and your actual fans might not see all of them, but you're setting out a wider net for more people to kind of get you on the radar.
Yeah.
But that's a lot.
I believe the algorithm works similar to South Park, where they I don't know if you remember, but I think it was like the They had the censorship or whatever. It's like the manatees picking, and they pick the ball, and that's what gets. Yeah, there's some hamsters somewhere that are wandering through a maze, and that's how things work. Yeah,
obviously. Oh. Well, man, it's good to have you on. It's good to kind of catch up. We didn't even really talk about like sports or anything.
No.
Like
Oh
that.
my gosh, dude. We've got some big ball games coming.
Can we
up.
just take like the last, just the last few minutes and just hit up the highlights on what's going on with sports right now in the DFW area and how amazing it is right now?
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
But you just got to give me 1 second because I don't use the sports sound anymore, and I've got it here.
Sorry, Javier. We're gonna butcher your segment.
And now, Action Sports with Dustin and Chad.
Hey, it's me, Chad.
Hey, it's me, Dustin.
And we're going to talk about sports a little bit. So we have got 2 of our local teams here in the DFW area that are just absolutely fucking killing it. And I don't know about you, but I feel like they're feeding off of each other's energy. You feel that too?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, I'm 1-2, I'm 1-2, I'm 2, and it's just like going back and forth. It's crazy. Have you been watching the entire series? Let's start with the Stars. What
Everything.
are your thoughts?
I've been watching all of it.
Okay, so let's start with the Stars then.
Dude, Ott has been killing it.
Insane.
You got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah.
It's been insane. And to see Deshane at the end, like, win it
Yeah.
the other night was
Yeah.
incredible. After
And-
everybody was kind of pissed at him.
Right. I was pissed overall just because, I mean, obviously it was a goal. I pulled up social media and was like, that was a goal. That was a goal. And they didn't give it to us. And then, the last goal to close it out in overtime, too. Man, those guys were so exhausted, but they were pushing, right?
I was thinking about, like, how, like, they're used to, every line being out there for a minute and a half or however long they're
Yeah.
out there. But, like, they were on their way to playing 2 games.
Essentially.
I called him Deshane, and Deshane is my guitar player. Duchesne.
So
Right.
I was out on May 5th. I was at a concert.
Yeah.
I'm in the factory in Dallas, or used to be the Bomb Factory. Stars are playing against the Golden Knights, right? Yeah, Vegas. Yeah.
Gold Nuggets, actually.
Golden Nuggets.
Gold Nuggets.
Fucking with you.
Anyways, yeah, Knights, yeah. So they're playing that, and there's people in Stars jerseys there. They've got the game kind of playing, but there's this concert going, and I'm in the pit. I've got my phone, and I'm literally sitting there watching on YouTube on YouTube TV, watching the game, and there were several other people watching that last bit. And I was like, cool. All we gotta do is just win. All we gotta do is just win.
Yeah.
And then we win. I'm like, game off. I can enjoy the concert now.
Yeah. That kind of happened on the last game with the Mavs on Saturday. So it's been kind of crazy because a lot of times the Stars and the Mavs are playing the same night, and then you're kind of going back and forth, looking forward to this next bit because it's going to be every single night, just back and forth. We're going to have, from tomorrow for the next 2 weeks, we're just going to have nonstop sports. But we were watching our buddy Zeus play over at Hot Fusion, and of course we're listening to him. But I'm also just staring at the TV because I think at one point we were like down by like, I don't know, 19?
17, I think.
17? Yeah, it was a lot. And to come back, man, it was crazy. What do you think about that last call that is controversial?
Man, so that was a foul. Come
Right?
on. That
It was
was a
absolutely
foul.
a fucking foul.
They paused it, and the ball's still in his hand, but he's in the shooting motion.
Yeah.
You think about the NBA and the continuation you get. The dude's like in the air shooting. After he gets all ball, then he's holding on to his forearm on the way down. I think even SGA was just like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks is what it is, but it's hilarious that it ended on him fouling somebody
Yeah.
after all of those fouls. I mean, Luka complains a ton, and it can get annoying.
Of course.
But also,
Sometimes
he's
it's
very
warranted.
justified a lot. Like, it's warranted. I think he's 6'8", like 250. It's just like these guys are bouncing off of him.
Yeah.
He's like the guard version of Shaq. He's just so much bigger than them that he's not getting the calls. And I get it. He gets pissed. Sometimes he flops, and sometimes he's just being a new era complainer. But
Right.
In the baseball world, they're talking about bringing in AI and getting rid of umps. Have you heard that?
No.
I haven't heard this.
Because of how bad, Angel
Some of the
Hernandez.
calls- yeah.
like,
Oh my gosh.
So I've gotten somehow I got onto baseball bad ump calls on TikTok, and some of the calls that are happening, especially him, have been outrageous, and so they are actually looking into an AI. There'll be umps still, obviously, right? But AI's tracking the ball and determining where the strike zone is and all that stuff.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either.
I like the idea of it being correct, right? But I also like the human error sometimes.
When it works for you.
Yeah.
So what if the AI, let's say, AI's been out for 2 years and it's like AI gets 98% of all calls right all the time. Are you like, I like this?
I don't know.
Like if you knew it was going to be right all the time.
I wouldn't know what the ratio is now.
I would want it
with
to
you.
be more like 90 to 95%. I
Yeah.
think I'd be okay. But when you get up to like 98, 100%, it's like, man, you take no human error. Like everything is exactly what you see. I feel like that takes some of the enjoyment out of the game.
And it would also make it. I'm not saying make it easier to bet on. I mean, it would actually.
Yeah.
Because now you know like
Yeah.
this player's excellent. They're going to hit every time. There's not going to be this whatever.
Right.
There starts to be, some kind of coding bias
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
AI.
Oh, man.
shit.
Oh, shit.
Someone gets hacked and all of a sudden, damn.
You can't blame. We're gonna be like blaming the AI, like we
Yeah.
blame the zebras. I don't know, man. But golly, dude, the Stars Mavs. I think they're both taking the next round. They're gonna be in the championship. You're not gonna believe me. We'll look at it. I'll take it
Okay.
off and you can see it. This right here's my Lucky Dirk jersey.
Yeah.
It's autographed.
Okay.
No
yeah.
shit.
And I'm wearing it. It's got the tag on it.
You've talked about this
Yeah, you
jersey.
talked about it, yeah.
It's on the back. It's very faint, but you'll see it
And
when
you
we get
mentioned
done.
that you wore it like a fool.
I'm just dumb. Like I've only worn it. This is only maybe the third time I've ever worn it.
yeah.
But it like sat in my dad's closet forever, and he never like put it in a case or anything. It's just like the autograph keeps fading. And when we move, I'm framing it. I'm putting it. It's not getting worn anymore. But tonight I was like, I'll wear it. And I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't been leaning back in my chair a lot because I don't want to lean up against the signature.
Smart.
Those that are listening to us and those that end up catching this on YouTube, if you have any pull and can talk to Dirk, let's make that happen so our boy Dustin can get that re-signed.
Yeah.
And
Chad's got some rookie cards of Dirk that he'd like to get signed as well. Just FYI.
yeah.
That'd be great.
I mean, this is about you, but also about me. I
No,
think
it's about all of us. we got Rangers World Series champs.
Yeah.
We got Stars, and we got Mavs conference finals.
Yep.
We're gonna go to the
Can you
championship.
imagine like the trifecta there, and then, and I'm just gonna say like if we could get the Cowboys on board,
Well,
I made a deal with the Devil guys last fall.
is that
and I
why
was
we got
like-
Zeke?
I remember telling my buddies like I would sacrifice the Cowboys. We'll go another 30 years
Yeah.
with no conference championships if the other three just can succeed, and it's happening. I'm like, the simulation heard me.
Wow. This is your fault. I'm with you though. I'm with you.
I'm okay with it.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. You know
Let
what I mean?
Jerry suffer.
Yeah.
He's got it like, and then you got all the other squads. The Wings are good.
Yes,
you know,
the Wings are
The
fantastic.
Renegades. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Women's basketball is just booming. It's getting crazy.
it is, and it's getting a lot of traction.
And the Wings tickets are like sold out.
Yeah,
And they're moving, I think, now from playing at UTA to go into American Airlines because it's just getting obnoxious.
yeah, we gotta, man. I gotta hit up Zach,
Yeah.
soon and see if we can let's make it happen. Let's meet some players and
It's a great time to be from DFW.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always great to be from Fort Worth.
You goddamn right. I think that's how we close it out.
And that was Action Sports with Dustin and Chad.
That is correct. Well, Dustin, where can people find you on all the social medias and all the things?
At Dustin Massey on like all the things.
Okay.
And DustinMasseyMusic.com. And yeah, check me out on Spotify and Apple Music and all that good stuff.
The new song.
New song, Always Been This Way. It's out there. Go playlist it on your playlist. Go stream it for me. I need that mailbox money because I got a baby coming.
Hell yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Well, thank you all for hanging out. Dustin, thanks for hanging out with us,
Love
man.
you
We
guys.
appreciate you. Shout out to MQ Kitchens again. I cannot wait to dive in to the other half of the steak sandwich. Appreciate y'all.
I ate all mine.
Yeah, I was not because I was talking. You were just being quiet.
I was eating.
Well, you can follow us on all things social media at The Funky Panther. You can find us at thefunkypanther.com. You can call, text. Thank you, Corey, for texting us, 817-677-0408. He shouted out to you for your food recommendation last time with Michael. What was the place? I already forgot the place. It was an Asian food place.
Asian Nights.
No, it was another one. Hold on. Please hold. Bangkok House.
Oh, Bangkok House. Yeah, that place is awesome.
He loves that place.
I ate that today.
Thanks for the text, Corey. Stay good, everybody. I'm Chad.
I'm Tim.
And I'm not Javier. I'm Dustin.
And
We are
the Funky Panther.
Bye.